Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vanessa and I am the owner of Glitter Fritter. I am a Amigurumi designer. I make notions for knitting and crochet. I have an Etsy shop where I do that out of. And I started this channel in the hopes of leaving my family alone when I talk about yarn so I could talk about other people that love the same things as I do. So if you want to hang out with me on here, we can talk all things yarn, knitting, crochet, anything fiber arts related, then make sure that you're subscribed and that you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Now, I have a fun little vlog for you guys today where I was making Maurice the mouse, this little adorable creature right here. The pattern for him will be coming soon. I am in the final stages of getting the actual mouse kind of ready, like the final of it, like the pictures and everything that I have to do, because this is my working model. This is the first one that I made, and I wanted to take you guys along on the journey of creating a pattern for an amigurumi. So Maurice the mouse is one of the newer additions. I have two patterns up in the shop right now. I'm fairly new to the shop and Etsy selling and all of that, so I do have two patterns up already. I also have a bunch of notions that just dropped. I have a lot of stitch marker sets, progress keepers, all of that fun stuff. And there's also a crochet planner. I am working on a knitting version of that planner, digital download planner as well. So a bunch of stuff for you to check out if you feel like it. It's all linked in the description. But today we're going to talk about this guy. So Maurice is the newest addition. He is the smallest of the bunch and I love him for it. He's got giant little ears and this long little tail. And he's got a little tail coat that took me a while to figure out how to create. So he's pretty adorable. I'm a big fan of him. So in the actual vlog, and I already filmed this, and I'm doing this intro and outro kind of afterwards. But in the vlog, I was going to wait until I got the final version in the nicer yarn that I do for pictures and all of that done. However, life kind of got in the way and I didn't want to sit on it any longer. He was done. He's looking so flipping adorable, like his little whiskers and everything. And no, he's not done in the yarn that I use for the final pictures, but he is pretty perfect as far as I can tell. And he's ready to go. So I didn't want to sit on the vlog anymore. I wanted to share it with you guys. So that's what I have for you today. So do keep in mind at the end when I say I'm going to show you what the final looks like, I'm not actually going to be showing you what the final looks like because I don't have the final yet. But when I do have the final, I'll make sure to post it in the community that the pattern is ready and it's out there and you can see some pictures of the final one. I will be starting work on that next week. But again, like I said, I have other stuff I want to film and I didn't want to sit on it anymore. So with that said, let's get to the vlog and let's see how I made this little guy. I thought we could do like a fun vlog type video. And I wanted to take you along. I am starting to design Maurice the mouse. So far I have two designs. I have Archie the alligator here, and then we have Brienne the bunny. She's much taller, so you only see her legs. But I want to work on getting another design out in this line of Victorian-styled animals before I go on vacation in April. And so I figured we could do that together. So Maurice the mouse is basically like a dapper little mouse who is essentially a mousy little music composer. He's going to have a nice little tail coat. I want to have him have like a little bow tie. And I want to make sure that he is shaped a little bit differently than these two. So Archie is quite, he's got the short legs, but they're stumpy legs. He's got his big belly and he's got like a fairly large head. And then Brienne has very long bunny hair legs. She is a little bit skinnier, but she's got very long ears. So for Maurice, what I was thinking is giving him the short legs, but having them be very, very pointy, like a little. So when I try to think and accentuate these little things. So when I think of like a mouse, I think of the little sound their little feet make when they run across a hardwood floor at night or something. And so like tiny pointy legs would kind of make me think of that at least. We're going to have the big round ears, of course, two colors, and he's going to have a tail. So I'm going to have to accommodate the way that I do his tail coat. So it accommodates his tail. So I don't know if I'm going to do a hole or maybe I'll do a split in the back. So I'll have to figure that out as I'm actually crocheting. So we can figure that out together because you're here for the full journey. So the thing that I have done so far is I have my little designer's notebook, and I've gone through and I did kind of like these rough sketches very rough. But this way I know kind of like what he's going to look like front and side, more or less, and what all the pieces that I have to make will be. So there aren't as many pieces here as let's say maybe like Archie or even Brandy, but I do think that his vest is going to take a little bit of work. And I also have to figure out how to do the tail, because I think I'll probably need to put in a wire into that, although he could just have a very long tail that hangs, which would avoid me having to do any kind of like splits or holes on the tail coat. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll accentuate the tail so it kind of like hangs like really long. So that's start with that. So look, we're doing it together. And then I started where I'm going to start writing down my pattern. So that's all I have so far. And I figured that we can start together. I want to get through making his tail right now. I already have the eyes picked out. I got some brand new eyes at a knitting and yarn store, kind of like close-ish to our area. And they had these really cool glass eyes from Japan, and like safety eyes, but glass. And so I really, really want to use those for him, because I try to do different kind of looks and eyes for the way that all the characters are. So I want to try these out, and they're actually like animal type eyes. So I don't know, they might not work because they're very like almost feline looking, but maybe at the scale that they're at, it might work. So I'm thinking that I definitely want to get through doing the head today. And I thought that we could do that together and touch base afterwards. And then we could slowly make our way through making little Maurice, because I'm pretty excited about him. Like, other than the head, for his full self, we just need to make the body. So that will be attached together. And then we have the 2 ears, 2 arms, and a tail. And I want to try to work on him kind of a similar size to maybe Archie, maybe in between these two. Maybe he'll be slightly larger. I'll see how he works out. It always a matter of how he works out in the end. But for now, let's get that nice little sweet mousy skull figured out, and let's get him crocheted. Okay, so this is what I got done so far. He is looking super cute. So the long nose I really wanted. It took me a while to figure out how to do this part. But I really wanted like a long nose that kind of was like a little bit pointy, and you can shape that more when you stuff it too. And a really round head. I also embroidered his little nose, and I added some whiskers. So in case you're wondering how I got these in, I literally just took, for this as a tester, I would normally use embroidery like floss, but I used just regular same Amigurumi cotton yarn in black, and I went through several times like across the nose, kind of off to the top, and I just snipped it. So that's all it is. If you are going to give this to like a kid to play with, you don't want to get them pulled out. You probably would want to do this before you close off and before you stuff. So before you start moving on the nose and secure it from the inside. But this is just kind of like my tester, and he is looking so cute. So like, can you picture him with big ears? Is really looking like a sweet little mouse. He is going to be on the smaller side, which is great because mouse, you know, they're small. So I'm really happy about this. I'm good with what I got accomplished for today. I'm going to go ahead. It's time to cook dinner, and it's getting really dark outside. So I'm going to go and make dinner for the family. My toddler is already screeching downstairs, so she's ready to go. You know, it's running around time. So I'm happy with Maurice. Really good kind of progress for today. I realized I tested the other eyes too. I wasn't going to use them on this anyways, but I did test them, and they're more like cat eyes. So I think I'm just going to go with regular black eyes for the final, just safety eyes, regular ones for the final one as well. But for this tester, it's pretty good. So step 1 of the design process for Maurice the Mouse is complete. It is the next day, and I don't know if you guys are ready for this. So I didn't have time to do as much as I wanted to today because I have a job and I had other things to do. But I was able to get the ears crocheted and sewed on to this first initial test design of Maurice and his head. And are you ready? Look how cute he is. Look at his ears. So I purposely made them really oversized. And I'm still trying to figure out, I might shift them a bit more forward on his head in the final. But I don't know. This looks right for a mouse. So maybe I'm just tripping out. I don't know. But like, he's so cute. So I really wanted him to have big ears, tiny feet. Like, I'm trying to accentuate when I design these, like the parts that are slightly ridiculous on these animals in real life and make them even more ridiculous. And so that's like, for him, it's the ears and the tiny legs and the long, long tail. So I think that is going to be so cute, but I can't. He's so cute. So the way that I do these, in case you're wondering, it's very, very simple. It's literally just like if you're doing a round ear and you want the two-toned round ear, you would do one color, just like a real perfect, like a little circle in one color, and then fasten that off. And then you would do 2 of those, and then you would do 2 more in the skin or fur or whatever color, but you don't fasten those off. You lay them on top of each other with the wrong sides facing in, like, so you sandwich it together, and inside for extra kind of cushioning, you can put all the threads that you don't want, like all the yarn you don't want, instead of having to like weave it in. And then you would crochet all around, just single crochet all around to attach those together, and you get kind of like a little border so that your ears have like an inner color. So that's kind of how I did that. I did that for Brianne's ears too. It was just an oval for her, and I used a double crochet for her ears instead of a single crochet like I used for Maurice, because he's smaller. So I didn't want him to have really large stitches because I didn't want it to draw attention to it. I just wanted to have 2 colors. But I'm so happy with how he turned out. He's so cute. Like, I can't. Oh my God. So on the next step is I'm going to be doing the body for him. We're going to start with the legs and kind of work our way up. And then the arms. So usually when I have patterns, I would say make the arms first. Because you want to get out of the way. But obviously when I'm designing, I want to make the arms last because I want them the right size. So that's next. So we'll see what we do. And I will crochet those next, and we'll chat afterwards. I have you in kind of our little library downstairs today because the lighting is really nice, and I wanted to sit somewhere in a different room. It's been a few days. It's been a few days and a weekend, actually. Things got a bit hectic. We are planning for a vacation that we're going in a couple of weeks. And then this coming up weekend is our daughter's 3rd birthday party. And we're having a huge bash and a bunch of people are coming. And so I've been kind of busy planning a lot of that. I've also been busy making a knitting pouch and a travel version of it for my interchangeable needles, because I want to take some of them on the plane, but I don't want to take the whole thing. And also I had a case for them, but it was too huge, and I wanted to make my own. And this one is so cute. I'm going to be posting a reel on my Instagram if you kind of want to see the inside of it. So I've been doing a bunch of stuff. I've been knitting presents and crocheting presents. And I'm going to have a roundup of everything that I have crocheted and knitted so far in the year for the video that's coming out this week. So this video you will see after I'm back on vacation, because I'm going to have a 2-week break there because we're gone. So this week I'm going to have a roundup, and I'll put kind of a walkthrough of that as well, of the pouch. It was my first sewing project in years, and that was really daunting, but it looks like super cute, so I'm happy with it. But we're back to Maurice. It's Maurice's time to shine, so I need to get him done. I would like to, ideally, I want to get him done, and also because I'm working, so with you guys, I'm kind of showing you the progress as I make the first original design, but I want to get the final design done as well and all the pictures so I can send the pattern over to my tech editor. So I want to get that done before we go on vacation. I don't know if it's going to work out, hopefully, fingers crossed, but either way, we're going to try. So we are back. Today I would like to get through making his full body, hopefully his arms as well. I don't know. I'm hoping I can get through it. I have some writing to get done. I have some editing for clients to get done as well. And so I don't know, but we'll see what we can do. So why don't we, I have a bit of a break right now. So why don't we go ahead and see how much of Maurice we can get done. Who's Clarice? I'm thinking of Silence of the Lambs, but let's see how much of Maurice we can get down today. That took so much longer than I thought it would. So first, this is what we're working with. So this is the low body. And then just imagine this situation. I can't. Like so cute. Like look at the size. Just, it's perfect. This is exactly what I was thinking, with the tiny legs and the big kind of round hair-shaped body that goes in for the head. So the reason it took so long is because I had to redo these legs several times because I just could not get the pointiness and the size, the small size, in scale with the head just right. And so I frogged it like 2 or 3 times just to get them perfect. They are now absolutely perfection. It's exactly what my fingers are like in the way, but it's exactly what I wanted it to be, like that body symmetry of his, like that's exactly what I needed it to be, but it took forever to get here. And then to figure out kind of the right amount of increases and to get this like pear-shaped slope going. I really, for some, like it's so small, so you would think that it would be so fast, but it's really not. And I think also the thing is I am using like Amigurumi yarn for this, which is, I mean, honestly, like a little bit crappy for a cotton. It's quite rough. It's hard. It's a bit splitty. And it was a lot splitty on this for some reason, much more so than the head. I don't know why. It was the same ball of yarn. But yeah, it's not my favorite yarn. It's good because I like it because it comes in small little balls, or I don't know what you would call them. Would they be a hank? I guess they're more like hanks. But like these little things, and they're tiny, and they're usually like $3 for one. And one of these will make me probably like a full character. And I use them for the testers because I don't want to use Katona yarn because that one is really hard to come by in Canada. And so when I order, I spend like a lot more on it because I have to get it in bulk. And so I don't want to use that for my test design. So I use this, and it's hard on the hand. So I was getting tired and I was making mistakes. And the fact that the legs weren't working out was frustrating, but finally got it. I am like obsessed. So now all that's left is, I mean, obviously putting him together. I feel like you can't see his eyes because of his whiskers all the time. But it's putting him together is one thing that's left with it. Tomorrow I need to do the arms, the tail, which I think looking at the size of him, I think the tail could just be a chain. To be honest with you, I could just do like a really long chain and just sew it onto his body. I think that would be fine for him. And then we got to do the arms. And then I have to do his little like tailcoat, his long dragging on the floor kind of tailcoat. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I can get through doing the arms and the tail, like the rest of him, basically this entire tester, because then I can move straight into making the final version of this in the good yarn and taking pictures as I go. And hopefully that won't take quite as long as this did because I don't have to like figure out the pattern and write it down. It's already done. So we'll see how that goes. We'll go for tomorrow. But for right now, I am so happy with him. Like Maurice, like it's so cute. I love how exaggerated his ears are compared to his body. It's like literally what I wanted. The tiny feet that go when he runs, like it's perfect. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow and we'll see how far we can get through this before life gets a little too hectic. It's the next day again. Now I think this kind of shows you like how long of a process it is for me to actually design an amigurumi, because it does take a very, very long time for me. Not only because like I take my time with it, but also because like I have other things that I'm doing, right? This isn't like a full-time job for me by any means. And so it takes some time, but it is the next day, and I did do the arms and I did do the tail, and I put him together. So here's what I did. So I'll show you. So I crocheted or sewed the head onto the body that I showed you in the last clip that I filmed. And then I made these arms and sewed them on. And then I also did the tail. The tail is literally just a chain that gets crocheted straight onto the back of the body and kind of like fastened off. Then I tied a little knot at the end to make it really secure. That way it's like a thin, long, mousy kind of tail. And I could make it longer, but I think this is like a good enough that when it stands, like when he's standing, you can see the tail kind of beside him, dragging on the floor. It's so cute. So for the arms, so I mentioned this in one of my videos before where I talk about some of these designs that I've made. And usually I don't like arms that aren't stuffed. A lot of amigurumi designers do like them, and it works. And I get why, because the arms lie flatter to the body when you put them on. But I find depending on the size of your amigurumi and depending on the size of the yarn you use, sometimes they just look like floppy little sacks. And I don't like that. So I like to halfway stuff all of my arms. But in Maurice's case, because he's so small and because I have a vest that I'm going to be making for him, like the tailcoat vest, I am thinking that because of that, I can't quite make them stuffed, like even halfway stuffed, because they would stick out too much. And so when you put his vest already, it's already going to push him up even more. So his arms will be like shocked all the time. And so to keep that down as much as possible, I did have to not stuff them. Now, because of his size, it actually works just fine. They look like they're stuffed, but they're not. And that's totally fine. But can we just appreciate how adorable? Like, this is probably the tiniest, like in comparison to even Archibald, who was the smallest up to this point. But look, and I love that I now have 3 different sizes of them. Like, they're all a little bit different. And there's like slightly bigger, slightly smaller. I think another larger one, Flossie the Fox, is probably going to be the same size as Brittany. And then I think Clementine will be kind of an in-between, and probably Patrick, the pigeon, will be the same size, if not just a tiny bit bigger than Maurice. But Maurice is the smallest, and I love him. He's so cute. He turned out so sweet. I love his big ears. And so another thing that I did is, if you're wondering what the heck this is a template that I made for how I want the tail coat to be crocheted, like in the flat. This will be it. And I calculated all my rows, all my stitches that we need, where the armholes would have to be formed. They will not look like this because he's quite small. I will just do like a chain 3 and skip, because you can just kind of like squeeze him in. Maybe a chain 4. So I might have to recalculate. So I might do a chain 4 so there's more space for his arms. Or maybe a 5. I'll see as I'm crocheting what I feel like. But this is kind of the shape that we're working with the 2 tail coats. And I basically tried this on him. I made it from like a piece of paper, just printer paper. And I put this on him. And so he's going to, and like bear with me because it's paper. I don't want to get it ripped because I do have writing on it that I need. So I kind of like formed and molded, and this is going to get folded over because it's fabric. It won't be paper, but essentially his little tail coat should sit on him like this, with the back and the tail there. So that's what I'm planning. And that's what we're going to do today. And that's going to be the final before I can actually start working on him in the like picture version and the stuff I'm using for the pattern. But I think this is how I'm going to make the tail coat. And let me take this off again. In case you're wondering, so these are taped on. So what I'm planning to do is make this rectangular shape with a chain 4, so maybe chain 5s, skip where the arms would be, like to leave the hole for the arms, so I could like slip his arm right through them. So that's going to be this. And then afterwards, attach to the end, like maybe I'll start from here, keep going on this, and then do 1 single row with just like 1, 2, 3 probably crochets. I'll have to calculate again. And then do 12. So 1 more here. So after this row, what we're doing, so we will finish this row, we're going to slip stitch. Yes, we're going to slip stitch, do 12 stitches. We're going to do a slip stitch again, 12 stitches and slip stitches again, until for 12 more slip stitches or 12 stitches. Then we're going to turn, and then we're going to work a decrease in this section and work each of these sections 1 by 1. So that's an option. Or a much simpler option is to count out how many stitches I want to miss here, because I'm obviously going to be doing 2 pieces, and just do these 2 pieces and crochet them on in the decrease to make a V, and then skip a stitch and do the same thing here. So I think like the simpler options would be easier. I like the idea of doing this and then going back. But because there's going to be a stop anyways, like a natural stop, there really is no point. I could just like attach the thread somewhere else. So this is what we're working with. So that's what we're going to do today. I think I'm going to switch it over to the bed just to get more comfortable in this, because I feel like I'm going to need to lay this out regularly, and I'm just looking at a chair. There's no space to do that here. I don't have a table in front of me. And also so I can like write stuff down. But this is the last step. We're going to do this tailcoat and then he'll be done. I also want to do to embroider like 3 like buttons, just X's probably, on the 2 sides on each side. So when he's wearing the vest, it's like a cute little detail over here. So we're going to do that. So yeah, let's do it. And let's see how he looks in his little tailcoat vest. Oh my God, I just love him. Just so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just put him kind of here so you can see what I'm talking about. So I think the coat is done. It's so cute. And sorry if I keep looking this way. I'm filming this on my phone, and so the camera is like not right in front. I know it's here, but when I look here, I can't see him. And so my eyes are... apologize for like all of this action in the eyeball area right now, but that's what we're working with. So I did the coat and there was like a couple of things that I played around with that I did it. But first, let me kind of show you all of it. So this is the front, and I'll talk about why I chose to do this here. We've got the collar, and you can actually like kind of flip it up a bit more too, if you want more of that Dracula look. So we've got like that. It's a bit flipped in the back. I'll show you. So I've got it flipped up more in the back, and you can roll it as much as you want. That's the beauty of single crochet for this small material. And then we've got these tailcoats, and so you can wear them down like that with his tail sticking out. And it worked out so well. Like I'm actually like super impressed with how well they worked out. The point is perfect. Like it worked out really, really well. It's going to be even nicer in the final. So when I'm not using a stiff cotton like the Amigurumi. So you can also flip them up. So they kind of sway behind him like this. And then I love that the tail literally kind of is right in between there. It worked out absolutely perfect. And in the front, so I was kind of going back and forth because I didn't want this to be like, I kind of wanted, as you can see, more of like a gradual kind of coattail situation. And I didn't want it to be like, that's also why I did the edging in a rounded corner. I didn't, so it kind of looks like it's going this way, but like almost like a proper coattail. So like a real coattail, you would have the vest part and there would be like a cut off for the garment construction, that is. You would have a straight line and then the tails would be in the back. But because we're working with just small character, very little fabric material, the only way I could achieve that is if I made the vest cover more of his like belly and his body. And I didn't want that. Like I really want more of this to show so you can see his tiny little legs. Like I wanted to show the figure as much as possible. And so I had to crochet it in such a way that it almost fell on an angle. And just to give the hint of the regular, here, I'll put it closer, of the regular coattail construction, I gave it like a rounded edge here and then started the tail, the actual tails of the tailcoat. And so because it was like on the final, you'll see the colors in the final. I want to do the final. I want to do maybe in this color, and then like a dark purple for the embellishments, or I might flip that and do the coat in like a regal, like royal purple, and then this light color for the embellishments. I think that might also look nice. I'm gonna kind of gauge it and see it when I get to that part for the final. But I didn't want it to be just like a big purple blob that he's wearing, obviously. And so I wanted to add some kind of embellishments. And so I added these like buttons, just X's, that I embroidered across. You could add real buttons as well. I don't know if I have buttons this small. The other thing you could do is you could add metal, like kind of whatever you want. But I think working with like limited materials, especially for people who don't want to get overwhelmed when they buy the pattern of how many materials you need to have, I think embroidery floss, it will be just fine for the final. Like for the actual pattern. So you could use that. That way you don't have to get like buttons, and small buttons might be hard to stitch in. And so the whole thing. So I just embroidered these on top. And the other thing is, because I did this kind of construction to show off the belly, if you didn't cinch it in any way up like somewhere, it would be kind of floppity open. But again, I didn't want it to cinch it down the center because I don't want this part to get covered. And so a very thin, literally a piece of yarn, cotton yarn that I was already using to embellish with, just as a tie across. I think that looks super cute. It mimics the little threads of his whiskers. And I feel like that, like we got it, you guys. Like, I think this is it. The pattern, I have it. I have to clean it up. I have to double check my math. And then I have to do the final, and I will kind of pop right back on and do a comparison of the two, so you can see the actual final that I'm photographing for the pattern before it goes out to my tech editor and my pattern testers and all of that. But also, do you see what I mean about the arms? Like if I stuff them, they would be up here. And so having them more flat works out really well. But this is it. Like, this is what Maurice is essentially going to look like. I'm so excited. Like, I think he might be my favorite. It's hard to tell because Archibald has this cute little face and these goofy eyes, but the size of Maurice, I can't. He is so sweet. I'm very excited. I can't wait to do him in the Katona nice like yarn with that little bit of shine that it has. So super excited. I'm going to get started on that next. I got a bunch of stuff to do today, but hopefully tomorrow we can get started on the final. And that's going to be faster. For you guys, it won't be no time because the next time I pop on screen, you're going to have both. But for me, it might be about a week. So see you soon. I figured I'd film just a quick little outro as well, since I didn't really do one in the vlog, thinking I'll be back with the final version of Mr. Maurice over here. But that is what I had. I hope you guys enjoyed it, seeing me kind of put him together. I'm obsessed with him. He might be my favorite so far. So I know I say that for every single one of them, but like, it's just because he's so, and keeps focusing on my face. He's so tiny, just the most adorable little guy. And I love him so much. He's got like a cute little pot belly. Like, he's just so sweet. Big fan of this mouse. I love him. I love how he turned out. I'm very excited now to do the final stages and make another version of him in the Katona yarn and take the pictures and give the pattern to my testers and get the pattern over to my tech editor afterwards and get it to you guys. So stay tuned for that. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. And if you're subscribed, you rock my world. And if you're not subscribed and you stuck around to the end here of that vlog, then I would love it if you did subscribe and join us here. With that said, I'll see you guys next week for another video, and happy yarning, everyone.